Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. This video is going to be 8 things that you will rarely to never catch a narcissistic person doing based on their characteristics. It's just not in them to do these things. And one of the first things you'll find a narcissistic person will not do is pay a genuine compliment. They can flatter people in order to gain admiration. However, they're not going to pay genuine compliments towards other people due to their trait, their characteristic of being envious of others. They can't be pleased for others. They believe that other people have in some way cheated them out of something or lied to do what they've achieved, because narcissistic people lie to achieve things. They can give those backhanded compliments where they turn around and say, wow, didn't think you'd be able to do that, or you looked better with your hair yesterday, or I prefer your hair today than it was yesterday. So they can give those backhanded compliments, but they don't give those genuine compliments, as they can't genuinely be pleased for other people due to the fact that they're envious of other people. Narcissistic people will not treat people as equals. They believe they are superior, which is why they often have to put other people down in order to feel better about themselves. They are incredibly arrogant people, so they don't see their own incompetence, yet they see other people's. They don't see their own mistakes, yet they see other people's, and they are very quick to put other people down in order to protect themselves. Due to their own arrogance, they don't see their own inadequacies, yet they do see others. So they have those double standards. No one will be allowed to point out any mistake that they make, yet they will happily humiliate people on the mistakes that other people make. As they don't recognise other people as equals, they will happily make arrangements with somebody, promise someone something, and they will happily break that arrangement, break that promise. However, they will find a way to blame the other person as to why they've broken that promise, yet nobody is allowed to break a promise on them. Someone can have a major emergency come up, a major family emergency, and phone them and let them know, I'm sorry, I can't make it because this has happened, and promise to make it up to them. And a narcissist then feels hard done to and will not forgive that person or seek to punish that person, even though that person had a genuine reason, and will then fulfill on the promise that they made to the narcissistic person. A narcissistic person will more than happily accuse others of things, usually the very things that the narcissistic person is doing, the narcissist projection. If they're cheating, they're going to accuse you of cheating on them. However, nobody's allowed to accuse them of anything. If you accuse a narcissistic person of something, they will suddenly turn into the victim in front of your eyes. 3, they don't listen. They're not interested in other people's points of view. They're not interested in other people's opinions. They're not interested in other people's feelings. They're not interested in other people's beliefs. They're not interested in other people's success. They're not interested in other people's heartbreak. They're interested in other people's weaknesses, to use those weaknesses against people, to punish people, or to exploit people, as they are very exploitative people. They will use the things that matter to you the most against you, as these are the things that you will most passionately defend. So it can seem like they're listening, but they're only listening to the things that they want to use against you. And when someone doesn't want to listen to you, it's a big sign just to stop communicating with them. You cannot share your good news with them. They will not pay you a compliment because they are envious of you. Instead, they will tear it down. You cannot share your bad news with them because they will find a way to outdo you rather than care about you, because they lack the empathy to care. 4, rarely to never will you find a narcissistic person being polite unless it's in front of an audience, unless it's for show. They are very exploitative people, and they are looking to sell people an illusion. As they don't believe that people are equals, you can watch by the way they treat staff, and we can all be staff to some degree within our lives. We're all serving other people in one way or another. However, narcissistic people don't recognise this. They see people as beneath them, so they can be incredibly rude and incredibly impatient unless they're looking to impress somebody, and then they can suddenly become across all polite. The covert narcissist, the communal narcissist, they will be polite in front of other people, yet behind closed doors they're completely different. 5, they'll not help people anonymously. Narcissistic people are looking for that admiration. So when they're helping people, when they've done something, when they've achieved something, they have to make a grandiose show about it. Or the vulnerable narcissist will play it down, but continuously play it down to get people to pick them up, to make a big deal out of it for them. They don't do things out of the goodness of their own heart. They do things for show. They do things to sell people an illusion. Those who do things anonymously without people knowing, you'll often find when they are called out on one thing, they will suddenly talk about all the things they did anonymously, which shows they did them as a backup plan to show people what a genuine person they can be when people call them out on something. They turn into the victim of how everybody is out to get them rather than recognise their own failings. They don't apologise because they don't recognise their own failings. They don't take responsibility for their own behaviour. They don't feel responsible, and they're not interested in repairing the damage they've caused, because to a narcissistic person, you've caused the damage. It was your fault. It was your problem. They're very quick to gaslight people and shift the blame. And if they're looking like all else is failing, they will offer the false apology of, I'm sorry for what you think I did. I'm sorry you misunderstood me. I'm sorry if you hadn't. I'm sorry, but you didn't. I'm sorry, but you know what I'm like. I'm sorry, but you made me angry. It's always that you. They're always shifting that blame onto somebody else. They're always trying to distract people from reality with those that never happened. I didn't mean it. It was your fault, because they're not going to take responsibility. So it's very rare you will hear a narcissistic person apologise, and if they do apologise, it's so that they can escape consequences for their actions. It's about as insincere as any narcissistic person is. You will not get a sincere apology from an insincere person. They'll never forgive. They don't forgive people. Those double standards again. You're expected to forgive them and understand that that's what they're like and put up with them. And the more you forgive them, the worse they will treat you because they've got away with it. However, if you were to go no contact with them, they're not going to forgive you. They're going to blame you. If you make a mistake, they're not going to forgive you, even if it's a mistake that you apologise for and never repeat. They are not going to forgive you. They are going to find a way to punish you. If you expose them on something, this is one of their biggest fears. They're going to take this very harshly, and they're going to either run off somewhere else so that they're not exposed, or they're going to find a way to get you back. Narcissistic people do not forgive. Now, when you've been lied to, manipulated, cheated on, deceived, it's difficult to forgive people, but you usually have that thing called empathy, which means you still care about that person. You still have that object constancy. So you still care about that person. Even though you can have feelings of anger and resentment towards that person and hatred towards that person, normal feelings when you've been lied to and deceived. However, there's something that cuts you off from taking it too far, and you can work through it and eventually process it and move on. Narcissistic people don't move on. They often hold on to grudges towards others for the things they actually did to others. Now, another thing a narcissist will not do is give up control. They are extremely self-entitled people who are envious of others, willing to exploit people. They lack empathy, they are arrogant, they believe they are special. They are not going to give up control. They do not take no for an answer. They go all around the houses to get the answer that they believe they're entitled to. One of the easiest ways to spot a narcissistic person is a person that you cannot say no to, either out of fear of a reaction from them, that reaction where they punish you, or the reaction where they play the hard done to victim of how you don't care about them, or when they turn around and say, after all I've done for you, which shows they only did those things for you to use those things against you. Narcissistic people do not like losing control, which is why they go right ahead with the smear campaign to protect their reputation while damaging yours, while they'll drag out the court process, while they'll drag out divorces. Why, when it comes to childcare, you cannot co-parent with them, because they are counter-parenting at each and every turn, because they seek to punish you because they lost control of you. Nobody throws a bigger tantrum than a narcissist who's losing control of somebody else's mind. And there's so many manipulative mind games they will play to regain that control, or to feel like they're in control. There's so many stories they will tell others to feel like they are in control of a situation, rather than recognizing people as individuals, rather than recognizing people as equals, rather than respecting other people's choices and other people's beliefs. Narcissistic people don't want you to do that. Narcissistic people want you to put down your ideas and your beliefs and live life on their terms. And when you don't live life on their terms, they take offense to this. They won't forgive you for this, and they seek to punish you for this. Anything you noticed a narcissist will not do, as there are plenty of things they won't do, please do add those into the comments. Thank you very much to all the returning subscribers, and your continued support with the channel is greatly appreciated. If you are new to the channel, I'm Elizabeth Shaw. This channel is all about narcissistic behaviour, to give you more understanding of the people you might be dealing with within your life, how to handle yourself around those people if you cannot go no contact, and different methods to find what works for you to help you understand and overcome narcissistic and emotional abuse. If you do find the information helpful on the channel, please do subscribe. If you are looking for further help and support in understanding and overcoming narcissistic and emotional abuse, I do have several online guides available, and those teachable links are in the video description. If you're looking for someone to speak to, I have partnered with BetterHelp, and their sponsored link is also in the video description. Go out there and create the day that you deserve, because you do deserve to have an amazing day. Bye.